All right, and welcome back for the episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Saturday, November 23rd, 2024. If you've not done so already, please give the video a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts, analysis, and live day trading. Anyways, let's get into it today. So doing a special little crypto, mostly Bitcoin update here. For you guys, haven't done one in a while, and I did a video on Bitcoin a few months ago, specifically back in September. It was actually September 14th, if you want to check that out. And it was a video that I felt I needed to do here because I saw a lot of stuff going on around that time, a lot of charts going on around, and I'm not mad because it was good alpha for me that people were going against this trade. But essentially what I was trying to get across here is that there was a lot of noise in this pattern here in this channel, and I didn't care about any of that. Like a lot of people are talking about, oh, Bitcoin's got this bear flag here, it's got this bull flag here, blah, blah, blah. And it's, this is distribution, this lower highs, it's in a range, it's, it's hated, nobody cares about it. And my whole point was that zoom out, and this is just a weekly bull flag. In fact, if you go back to April, my buddy Josh from Crypto Fundamentals, we did a space on X or Twitter, and we said like, hey, this kind of needs to cool off. This is, it's March, April. It needs to cool off until September, October, and then it can, they can break out into year end. And that's pretty much exactly what happened. But you look at the monthly, it's just a bull flag, right? This is just a nice pullback pattern. Who cares about the lower highs? I mean, there's bull flags all the time, right? Look at the S&P monthly last, 2023. Nice pullback with, look at the weekly here. Up, right? Really nothing wrong with that, is there? Right? So who cares that there's lower highs? And look at the breakout there. So big picture, that obviously was correct. I still have a runner Bitcoin long from the swing trade, and I'm still looking to go higher here. Now the big question here is, the topic of the video is, how high can it go? Really? That's the big question, right? There's all sorts of people throwing price targets out there and whatnot. And honestly, I can't give you an exact. I can tell you that I had, and I think I mentioned this publicly in the live stream the other day, but there is a GAN level at 99.4. We did basically hit that yesterday, so 99.3. It's not a major GAN level. It's just a level. It's not a sell signal. And then the next really is like, at like 101 and change. These are minor levels here. It's not anything beyond that. I do think it gets through six figures. I'm a little disappointed that you guys, like, where's the Moon Boys? Gary Kensler stepping down yesterday. You guys couldn't get it to 100,000 the same day. Come on now. That's shameful. You guys should have done that. Come on now. You got to do better. But in any case, we should get through six figures. How do we calculate the exact price target? A lot of people are talking about, 100K on the dot, 99K, 110, 120. It'll top out at 120, and then it'll go back into correction. There's a couple ways you can do that. One, the first way I'm gonna look at when I'm looking at any chart, and I'll get into other stuff too. That's way bigger than people are even talking about or even have any idea. But just to get this out of the way, the pure technicals out of the way, one thing I normally would do is just take a measured move here. And, normally this is okay, but you've already exceeded that. And if we go farther, then you're just getting into ridiculous territory, right? You could use this pivot, but it's not major. You could use this, but it's not major either because it's just a consolidation. The only other place we can go to is the all-time low, but then you're talking about like, just ridiculous. I mean, I guess it's fair enough. I guess I could go up into that area, but it's percentage-wise, it doesn't really, 20,000 to, what do we have? Yeah, 16,000 to 50,000. Not quite exactly lining up perfectly. I suppose that one would work, but still not really great. So what I like to do when I don't have a level that is perfect, like as far as measured move or some sort of calculation, or, in this case, we're at all-time highs, so we don't have resistance to look at, is GEX. And, well, we don't have GEX on Bitcoin, but we do now because we have IBIT. And IBIT, as of this week, now has options on it. And the volume, the open interest, is high enough. There is sufficient volume on this. And what does the GEX show us? What does the Vanna and the Charm show us? It shows us where dealers are positioned. And right now, I'm not getting too detailed into it. I can tell you that for December 20, we've got a pretty good double-sided action at 55 on IBIT. Now, what I mean when I say double-sided action, I mean there's an equal amount of calls and puts right around 55. What is 55 on Bitcoin? It's like the low of Friday, just about. So about 96.5 in that area. It's hard because Bitcoin is not, there's like a million different exchanges. It's not like Apple where the price, but it's in that area. And as of Friday, we did close above that by, basically $1.50. Now, we still have a month before that, so there's plenty of time. Now, they've also added, I don't know if you could see this here, but they have also added weeklies already to this thing. So just earlier this week, these didn't exist, these four. It was just the monthlies. They now have weeklies. I checked all of them. They don't have very much open interest, so they're not that active yet. It's new. We'll leave it alone. But as those start to gain interest and start to gain traction, they may matter a lot more, right? ODTEs make up over half the volume for SPY now on a daily basis. Bitcoin could get there at some point. May not be there yet, but IBIT right now, it's looking like it could be as useful as GLD is to gold. In fact, one of my big calls this week was dealer gamma, negative dealer gamma, that is, rolling off last Friday on GLD would lead to a rally this week, and that's obviously happened. GLD is big enough and used enough of an ETF that it can move the price of gold, and I think IBIT can get to that point for Bitcoin. What does this all mean here? It means that this game has totally changed, and not enough people are talking about it. Why has it changed? Because we now have the option, or no pun intended, we now have the possibility of gamma squeezing, dealer squeezing. We now have dealers that are going to be short puts, short calls, that sort of thing. And these things are magnetic and they do move price. And this is something that Bitcoin has never really experienced, which is funny because, crypto investors, if you want to call them that, crypto bros, they're normally lumped in with the degen crowd. Like they're the most, highest rate of gambler, highest risk gamblers, but they don't really trade options, right? I very rarely hear, a pure crypto trader talk about options. They hardly even care, but now that's a thing. And I'm not saying that they will necessarily trade them, but institutions will. And my prediction is that, at least for right now, we stay above 55, we're probably going to 60 on IBIT. That should equal out to about, I did a bunch of calculations here and I just picked the easiest one because Bitcoin's price is not perfect on one exchange, but let's just say 105 or a little bit above 105,000. That's where I think this can go. That's by December. The next level is a lot higher. It's at 114, maybe 115. We'll just call it even there. This could change too. It could go to 120. As dealers are forced to hedge up, as so more strikes come out, right? But as it looks right now, if IBIT can hold above 55, there's a good chance we can see some gamma squeezing into December. Now, it'll depend on how these strikes look on the weeklies, or if they get a hold of them and keep control of the price. But this is a new thing here. As far as my predictions for this, I think this is going to be, if this does happen, this will be kind of like a I don't want to say one-off event, but we'll be introducing IBIT options with a bang. After that, I think they will be very vol dampening for Bitcoin. What do I mean by that? I mean the institutions will have control of the price. We're not going to be seeing these ridiculous moves, 10% intraday swings, not nearly as much. They're going to have control over that unless they want them to happen. That said, we will have a fatter tail. So you understand what that means. Price is more compressed, but if it does get outside of the expected range, you can see a massive move. And we know Bitcoin can be volatile anyway. There's going to be, and there will be tails too. There's lots of leverage still on all these exchanges, crypto exchanges, where that's just going to play a factor, and it can blow through those levels. So I think there will be fatter tails, but with a more compressed price. Where has this become dangerous here? And where's Michael Saylor come into this? Well, Michael Saylor, if you're not familiar, I mean, he's basically doing like this infinite money glitch right now with MSTR, and I won't get too deep into it, but basically he sells MSTR shares, uses the proceeds to buy more Bitcoin, which causes MSTR to go up, and it's just kind of this positive feedback loop. Why does this matter with IBIT? Because it's just another tool that institutions can use to target anybody who's exposed, right? When we go back to GameStop, I was banging my fist on the table back in 2021. I said, guys, like, yeah, maybe the retail, maybe Roy and Kitty did start this. I'm not saying it can't happen. It has happened a few times before in history, but you may have started it. But that on GameStop, that move, this move here, that's not retail volume. I don't have the volume there, but you can see, right? That is not 788 million shares. That's not retail. So what was going on though? Melvin Capital was exposed, and the rest of the street said, we're shooting your knees out. We're going to cut your hands off. They knew about it. They knew how exposed they were, and they took him out. And Michael Saylor gets himself too exposed. This is just another tool here, because Gamma works both ways, right? Remember how Goldman was crying about this last October when we had that correction I was just talking about, when the treasury market was illiquid, and they're using ODTEs to push the market down. It's not fair. It's like, they weren't saying a word on the way up, but so this is another tool. You break Gamma walls to the downside, we can go squeeze down. And if they want to do that, if he's exposed enough, they will do that to him. Not saying to go short. I'm still bullish Bitcoin. There's no problems with the chart. In fact, I think the alts are doing pretty well right now too. Even ETH is catching up. I don't see any issues here. This can actually have breakout pretty soon. But this is definitely something to consider here. And it's something that's going to change the game. And I am definitely going to be taking advantage of it. You guys in the trading room know we specialize in finding Vanna Charm. And those levels work really well. And I expect them to work just as well here. But man, Michael Saylor, he's gotten in trouble before a few times, and when their Bitcoin was at sub 20K, he had to move some things around to stay afloat. He almost went broke during the tech bubble. I mean, guy's a billionaire, and he's leveraging up like he doesn't have any money. Like, he's got nothing to lose here. Bill Wang just did 18. They just sentenced him. He just did 18 years, or he's going to do 18 years for Paramount. I mean, like, when's enough, man? Government doesn't like it when you find infinite money glitches and you're not letting them in on it. So just a word of caution there. But IBIT, be prepared for me to talk about GEX on this a lot more, because this looks legit. It looks valid. It looks as good as a GLD and maybe SLV do for gold and silver. And I'm definitely watching this. Larry Fink versus Michael Saylor. We'll see what happens here. But right now, 105. No problems here. Oh, we're a little parabolic on the daily, and people are whining about it, but look, I mean, we put in a base for 7 months. What do you think is going to happen? It's going to go straight up. I think we go through 6 figures, and yeah, I could easily see 105, maybe 115. We'll see what happens there. There's no sell signal. If you're long, like I am, keep trailing your stop. They have given you zero reason to get out of this. So this is not a hit piece video. I'm here. This is a victory lap for me. I'm telling you, like I was saying to buy this back in, the fall, early fall. So I'm not saying, to try to scare anybody, but look, you have higher low, higher low, higher low. There's no chart damage here. So keep riding that on the way up, but keep these things in mind. I'll definitely be watching this a lot closer. This will change the game, make no mistake about it. And it's definitely gonna be interesting to see how this unfolds moving forward. How long is the government gonna let Saylor do this? Or, does he get himself in trouble? Does something happen where somebody gets liquidated, causes a feedback loop? All I know is that infinite money glitches always end in tears in the financial world. So it's something to keep an eye on. Outside of that, Bitcoin looks fine. I think alt's starting to perk up. Bitcoin dominance starting to drop. ETH looks pretty good here for the first time in a while. I did not like it for the longest time, but nice outside move here. Obviously Solana, I've liked this to 250 and higher, and that's made a nice move, although that's traded kind of closer to Bitcoin here. Cardano making a nice move. And everybody's favorite, Pepe. Looking for that 20 MA to catch up to price here. That could have another leg up too. ERU also coming back. So there's definitely some, opportunities here in the alt space too. I don't think the run's done at all, but there's definitely things changing here in this market, and definitely excited about it because Gamma is a lot of fun if you know how to use it. So is Vanna Charm, Secondary Greeks. Anyways, I'll wrap it up here, guys. You guys take care. Let me guys know what you think in the comments. Is Michael Saylor a genius? Is he going to buy the whole world pretty soon? But you guys take care. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com. I'll see you guys all in the next video.